25 minutes ago, asked them if they would add another song. So I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot to ask you if you would do another song. So, yay, me too. Okay, so as we begin service, let us take the moment to relax into our space, to take a good deep breath, and just enjoy the moment of being right where we are, right here, right now. Saying thank you for this day, thank you for this place, thank you for this opportunity to come together with like-minded people and celebrate our spirituality. Celebrate our life, celebrate existence. We claim this day is good. We claim this day as great. And so it is, and amen. And I will invite up Maria. You know, Chris gets nervous when you step over chords.
I'm being very careful, I promise. Okay, well, if it feels comfortable for you to do so, I invite you to stand and join me in singing our call to worship song this morning, Love is My Decision. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. 'Cause love is my decision. It's my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. guys sound amazing. I love being up here. Good morning. My name is Maria, and I'll be your worship assistant today as well. Let me change hats. And I want to welcome you home. Take a look at one of your neighbors and repeat after me. Good morning. I love you this morning. And I sure do appreciate you being here. And for those of you watching us from home or later, our virtual family, please know that we're saying this to you as well. And we invite you to help us grow this loving community by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to our pages. Now join me in reading our affirmations together. As I face choices in my life, love is my decision. I am the love I seek, and I receive it by giving it out into the world. And now I have the pleasure of introducing our musicians today, who you've already had the pleasure of listening to as well, the John and Candy Band. We'll be providing music today. I'm reading off of the thing and sort of ad-libbing. I'm pulling a Wally. The duo is made up of Reverend John Canner and licensed Unity teacher Candy Bartling Connor. They have performed at several Unity churches and also play acoustic songs from the 70s, which I think was what we got to experience before the service, which was beautiful, as well as standards at music venues around the Triad and in Texas. Join me in welcoming the John and Candy Band.
Plug back in. We ready? Okay. That's all about not having that big pop when somebody plugs in. So that's okay. So this is the first one we're going to do, right?
Yes, it is.
So this is a song I wrote, and it's kind of a simple song, and it's all autobiographical, and it's called "Step Into What Scares You." And it's about kind of taking risks, and the first one's about trying out being in theater in high school. Second one, that was in my teens. The second one is submitting writing to a magazine in my 20s, and the third verse is about trying stand-up comedy. So
He has a varied background, including teaching disco dance lessons too. No stanza about that, but maybe later.
yeah. All right. I got to get out of disco dance lessons for a second in my consciousness. Just finding it. When I was new at the school, I didn't try out for the play. What'll they think, it's too soon? So I waited a year in fear. Then I did it anyway. A little part in our town. Played a country milkman with a reluctant cow. Step into what scares you. Don't worry about being rejected. Don't worry about looking a fool. Step into the unexpected. Sent a poem to a magazine. The New Yorker will like it right. Waited for the good news. Dreamed of my writer's fame at night. The letter came and it said, not this time, but thanks for submitting. Pinned it to the wall as a point of pride. A badge of honor, at least I tried. Step into what scares you. Don't worry about being rejected. Don't worry about looking a fool. Step into the unexpected. I can still see the MC say my name right out loud. Run away, someone else get laughs. Me, I'm too scared by half. But I didn't run, she said my name. Stepped into the light, never the same. Step into what scares you. Don't worry about being respected. Don't worry about looking a fool. Step into the unexpected. Step into what scares you. Don't worry about being respected. Don't worry about looking a fool. Step into the unexpected. Thank you. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you. I love it when you guys are here. They have such a good energy, it's contagious. And so I'm the prayer chaplain for today, and no matter what you're going through, we want to pray with you. And we'd like you to seek one of us out for the service today. Kathy is here, and I am here. And if you don't want to pray with one of us, Wally would love to pray with you. To be included on our prayer list, you can fill out a form and put it in the prayer box before or after the service, or you can click on the prayer request button on our website. Could someone bring the prayer box up here? And if you're not familiar with the prayer box, if you put anything in there, you can let go of it right after you do, because you know that it will be taken care of. I invite you to think of someone or something you'd like to send some love to as we pray together. Thank you, Suki. And now our prayer list. Merritt Waite, Ellie McFalls, the Harris family, the Kennedy family, Jane Marsh, Liz and Jean Armstrong. Together, let us affirm that these loved ones are whole, perfect, and complete. We are standing with them, knowing that God is already actively working in partnership with each person to grow through the appearance of challenges. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now to go into our meditation, I'll read my favorite prayer, and no, I did not write this, but I wish I had. Yes. Thank you, Suki. If you'll take some deep breaths, relax into this. Short prayer, but very powerful. Help me to see what I already have. Help me to know what is already true. Help me to receive what is already present. I'm going to read that again because I know it's heavy. Help me to see what I already have. Help me to know what is already true. Help me to receive what is already present in the silence. And as we bring our awareness back to this room, let us go forth knowing that each of us has the Christ within. Your favorite job is to show other people that they too have the Christ within. Go out into the world and spread love, peace, and joy. And so it is.
And Clement has written a new poem that he is going to debut here with us this morning. Clement will invite you to the mic that's on the stand there to deliver. All right, thank you.
It's called Universal Love, but I want to get some energy up in here real fast, okay? Love, 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 love. Come on, y'all. Love, 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 love. Love, Love, is something we need. The word love is the air that we breathe. So love is all around us. Love is us. We are love, manifesting that love that's all love. See, love causes an effect to love. So if you want love, you got to show love, because love comes right back to you when you give love. Love is food. We should eat love to have a healthy mind, body, and soul that's filled with so much love. Love should be a holiday. Like every day should be love day, with people loving people, people love people, love music, love games, people celebrating love. Love is for everyone. Love is happy, smiling, laughing, because love is fun. Love is humble and extremely thankful. Plus, love is powerful, strong, and stands tall. So love conquers over all. Love is real. Real love you can feel, like being touched by a love angel. How lovely it is to love you. How lovely love is. It's like being in the midst of water that's baptizing our bodies. Love is the highest authority. It's the sunshine with love rays. So love can be expressed in many, many ways. To love is to know love. There's no question. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that love. You could tell love just by the way it looks, sounds, and acts. In fact, love is clear, like you could see through a window. Love is understanding. Love is life. Like the moon is the night light with love stars, so your love heart is even brighter in the dark. The most beautiful thing in this world is love. Love like sighting two beautiful lovebirds singing some love songs in a tree. Love is good energy, positivity, and hope. Love can be quiet like just thinking about love. Love is very patient, just waiting to love. Like here's some love, there's some love. Now love is over here, over there, and everywhere is love. And love is a house of love. With a love chair, with a love table, with a love couch, with a love bed, with a love dresser, with love rooms, with the foundation being love. And love is second to none. Because when it's all said and done, we gotta love, because all we got is love. Love, 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 love. Come on, come on, come on. Love, 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 love. Share love, spread love.
That is fantastic. Where's my timer? There we go. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I said it 3 times. No. So today we're looking at waking up. Waking up where? Like theoretically we've already we woke up and got here, right? We're waking up to that love. We're waking up to that divine that is within us. So our theme for the year that we use to kind of touch base on, to remind ourselves of for the entire year is called living in the flow. And then the question then becomes, well, what's this flow that I'm living in? Because I live in a house, and it's like, what is the flow? And that flow is that energy, that of love, of peace, of joy, of God, of spirit, of universe, of whatever word you call, of the divine that is good all the time. That is the flow that we're inviting everyone to live in. And here's the thing about it. We often have to remind ourselves, oh yeah, I'm a part of this flow, not this bad day that I woke up on the wrong side of the bed of. Or I'm not living in the flow of somebody just said something to me that I didn't like, and now I'm in that flow. Well, the good news is the second you recognize it, you don't have to stay in it anymore. You can hop on out and hop right on back into the next place. So Charlotte has been doing a study this year that has a 4-step program that when we were talking about it in adult ed, it became a great way to like recognize and help get into the flow. Because what we're waking up to is a realization of something that we've always had, like the truth of who we are, that eternal life part of us. We're waking up to it because we're born into this human experience, right? And we check into these bodysuits called our vehicles, right? Because this is what we're expressing our life through. And and it's something that's important to take care of, and it has limitations, right? Like there are certain things that you can do in the body, and there are certain things not advisable. Like if you're going to jump out of a plane, parachutes are a good idea, right? Because like your eternal life will do fine if you don't have the parachute. The body, not so much, right? So when we're being trained in our youngest ages, like don't touch the stove, it's hot. Don't do this because it's rude to the other people. Don't do this. Like we get trained in limitations that are important because we don't like next week say, I think I'll get a new vehicle. Like you don't get to shift from the Ford to the Chevy. Whichever one you checked into for this life experience, this is the one you've got. And you go to the doctor or the body mechanic, right, to keep it as tuned up as possible. You want to eat right and exercise, and sometimes you got to take some medicines and all that stuff. And that's all about the human experience. And all of it is good and important for this that is important in like, you want to get up and come here today and move around and be able to think and see and hear and all the stuff that the senses that the body does. All that stuff is important. But when we get so caught up in it, we forget, we sleep on the truth of who we really are and that experience. And so that's what we then wake up to, because we realize that in truth, we don't have those limitations, right? In truth, when we see something that we want and we see what we don't have to get there, we don't have to stop and say, well, I can't do it because I don't have that. Like, I don't know how to do that. Then pick up a book and learn, or go ask somebody that knows and learn. And in this world of social media, while we can all write books upon books of all the negative experiences of social media, there's really wonderful things. If you want to know something, go get on Google or whatever other search engine and type up. And then make sure that you read more than one source, because sometimes some stuff gets fed on there that's not right? But we have that. Well, that's where we get to be critical thinkers and discern the truth and then figure out how to use it, right? And when we get spiritual information, it's something that's not like steadfast, factual, this is the way it is, that's it. I can tell you how it works best for me. You then have to go test it out and use it and figure out exactly how it's going to work for you. We're going to find a commonality in it, probably. But we all have different perspectives. We've all shown up here with our own experiences and our own luggage, or the baggage or whatever, so that you got to unpack some of and realize and be willing to get rid of some. And I had different baggage. Like, anybody that says, well, I don't have any baggage, they just still have to wake up to it, right? Because we all have the baggage, and it's helpful. Even the baggage that we need to get rid of. Having the baggage and growing to the place of realizing this is not serving me well is growth and is importance and is waking up. And in realizing the first place you hear the inner voice of, you need to let them go. You need to bless them and release them. Well, I already said I'd come to dinner. Well, then call and say you can't make it, And understand you're not lying if you say, I can't make it. And in your head, the reason is because I don't want to, because I don't think this is going to serve me well. Well, you don't have to give them all that and then get them upset and get them defensive. I can't make it. Something's come up. Something has come up. A thought came up that said, don't go, right? And, Della gave an example years ago. She was going to, I forget where she was, but she was out somewhere, and she goes into this, and just as she's getting ready to go in the club, she got this voice that says, I don't think you really want to go in here. But she was already there, and that human experience of us says, well, you're here, you have to be polite and go inside, right? And so she goes in, of course, she's in a place where people are singing blues, and they see her, they put her right up front. And then it goes on for a while, and then they ask her, they're like, well, you're here, you got to sing something. And they get her up on the stage, and then she says to the band, play whatever she said, and they didn't know it. But they said they did. They said, oh, yeah, we got that. And then it didn't go well. It like the end of that story is she pressed on and they pressed on in different directions. And it ended finally. And the audience was still grateful that she was there, and they applauded her. And as she took a bow, somebody right on the front said, if you hadn't come in here, they couldn't have done that to you. And she got that lesson because she knew right before she came in, this is not your place. So I say all the time, just because you showed up doesn't mean you have to go in. And just because you went in doesn't mean you have to stay. But you can get there. Understand that doesn't mean that you just always have to avoid everything. Like, there are plenty of things that you don't have to put yourself through, and avoiding it is a great idea. But you can also find those places where you're like, nope, the growth is in sitting right here and figuring out my way. My lesson in that was when I started learning New Thought and would come home from Los Angeles, and my mama wanted me to go with her to her church, where her minister, he claimed Baptist, but I would have sworn he was a Satanist because he talked about him every single Sunday, so I'm like, anybody talking about him that much, like, has him around. You can't talk about somebody and them not be a part of your experience, right? Anyway, like, I had to first I'm sitting there just because I respect and I love my mama, and this is where she has social support. Forget the spiritual. Like, this is when I'm on the other side of the country, these are the people supporting her, and so I'm respecting that. But I'm having to sit there and cringe because this man is saying stuff that I don't recognize as true, and it's making me uncomfortable because I just want to say, stop. So, but then the more I learned metaphysics, see, first I had recognized the untruth for me in what he was saying. And then the more I learned metaphysics, and I learned when he was talking about this being to him, called the devil, I learned that was negative thinking. And then I could sit there and I could listen to what he had to say, and I didn't have to cringe anymore because I was getting a message, because now we were at the UN. And he was speaking one language and I was interpreting it into my language. And now I not only could listen to him without cringing, I could get something from what he was saying. And I think I was truly getting the heart of what he intended to say. He was just saying it with words that I had decided were bad, right? But, once you go to the heart of it, there's a truth in there that serves us all, right? So, the example in the metaphysics, oh, by the way, the 4 steps of what Charlotte introduced to us, and Charlotte's going to do a 2-part workshop the last Wednesday of March and the first Wednesday of April about this information, about creating the beloved community and being the beloved community. And the 4 steps are wake up, grow up, clean up, and show up. So I'm going to speak about those once a quarter for the whole year. But Charlotte's going to give us all information if you go to the 2 workshops in March and April. So, metaphysically in the Bible, Lazarus was raised from the dead. Now, Lazarus represents that part of consciousness that is helped by good. It's that part of us that is willing to be lifted up, that recognizes that it needs to be lifted up. And Lazarus lived in Bethany, which represents the demonstration over affliction. So this place that is willing to be lifted up by good is in a place of overcoming affliction, right? So that's what this story is about when you hear this, right? And then his sisters, so his relations, Martha and Mary represent the inner and the outer phases of the soul's activity in welcoming our inner spiritual teacher. Meaning that we recognize kind of on the outside, in our human experience, that's step one. That's Martha who came first, right? Because you got to recognize it and maybe connect a little bit of what we call logic or intellect or something that, hey, this is a change I recognize that I need, or hey, I feel like I'm caught up into something I need to get lifted up, whatever that thing, a recognition of, and a willingness, because you're in charge of you. We all are in charge of ourselves. We have that power. So we have to say yes to being lifted up. There is no God or no being anywhere that's going to be like, oh, you're comfortable there? Well, too bad. Come on, because you were given power over you. So you have to say yes. Sometimes we're like, no, I didn't say yes to that. And it turns out, when you go to the right psychiatrist or hypnosis therapist or whatever, you dig down deep enough, you're like, oh, I did say yes to that, But so there's the outer and the inner of saying, yes, I want that spiritual teacher, that inner me, to speak and help guide me and lift me. That's where this story goes. So Mary and Martha had reached out to Jesus, our I am, the way shower of showing us how to do this, like of using the Christ mind, and said, hey, Lazarus is really sick, you need to come. And he's like, I ain't got I'm busy right now, I don't have time to come. And then when he finally gets done with the stuff, he says to the disciples, our 12 powers, because, again, I'll say it over and over, what we're ultimately talking about is not the story of human beings. We're studying our own consciousness of our feeling and our thinking and getting ourselves to that place, right? So that I am says, okay, now it's time to go there to Judea, and where Bethany is in. And the disciples say, look, last time you were there, they tried to kill you. Why would you want to go back there? And he says, because we need to go. That's why. So that's where sometimes you will have to go where has seemed dangerous before, but you're like, now I need to go. I feel the calling to be there, to get lifted up. I got to go there. And he says, and by the way, when we get there, Lazarus is sleeping. And they're like, I love this, because I've said for years in my very non-doctor, my MD from Google, that, when somebody's got a cold, got any kind of, I'm like, the best healer, I believe, is sleep. I'll sometimes take the extra cold medicines that'll knock my butt out, because I think the best thing I can do is get me out of the way, right? And they say in the Bible thousands of years ago, well, if he's sleeping, that's the best healer. I didn't highlight the exact part of that, but that's basically what they say, trust me. And he's like, no, I don't mean like sleep. I mean like sleep. And so they go. Now, what I highlighted here in the scripture was Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours of daylight? Anyone who walks in the daytime will not stumble, for they see by the world's light. It is when a person walks at night that they stumble, for they have no light. Now that sounds like good advice, information of actually walking around on the earth. You're going to get there a little easier and less likely to trip over stuff in the daylight, right? But we're looking at it metaphysically. So when we turn on that spiritual light, when we take the moment to just say, thanks God, or whatever words you want to use, like getting to that place of like, I know I'm not doing this alone. Thank you for the help. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for telling me what to, and you turn that light on, regardless of whether there's a sun or a moon in the sky, like, you're less likely to stumble as you go along that journey. So that's why I wanted to highlight that part. So they get there, and, the sisters are sad, and they're crying because because Lazarus has died, and Jesus also is sad during that time, and it talks about that he cried. Another quick Della story. There was a time when she was a child when you couldn't eat until you had recited a Bible verse, and so she was proud when she could say, "Jesus wept," and that was the entire. That is its own verse. Like, it has its own number. There's another number after. You're right, but she only got that one time. You couldn't bring the same one back. But anyway, so Martha, Jesus talking to Martha and Mary, and he said, well, no, he first is talking to Martha. So Martha first comes on her own, which is part of that story of that outer has to come to the I am first to turn on and get you access to the inner part of the willingness, right? So Jesus says to Martha, I am the resurrection and the life, and the one who believes in me will live even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? Yes, Lord, she replied. I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is come into the world. After she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary. The teacher is here, she said, and he's asking for you. When Mary heard this, she got up and quickly went to him. So, again, this isn't about saying a human being is the one and the only way. And the purpose of the man Jesus was to teach us how to use that power of God that is within us. So, and this is about recognizing and calling on that. So when he's speaking at that place, it's not the only through me, Jesus, the human being, only through me, the Christ, which is in all of us, can we get to this place and be risen up, right? So then when he goes through all these steps, when he has the challenges, and it's important to recognize that he was sad too, and that he wept, and that he had emotions, and then he pulled himself together and stepped up and said, roll the stone away. And they're like, well, that's a mistake. He's been in there 4 days. Like, there's an odor now. Like, they actually say that in here. It's like, he's going to be stinking. And he's like, move it. And then at that point, he's not like, oh, will you please help me? Please, I know that it's too late. And I know that, he's dead, and probably stinking dead, but will you? No, he just said, he stepped up and said, come out. Because when you've called on that power and you've gone through the steps of lighting up that power within you, your thing, whether, an easy example, but whatever your thing is, the easy example is there's a relationship and it was going well and it was really loving, and then something went bad and you don't even know what went bad, but then you hated each other and then you didn't speak to each other for ages, and then you're getting this inkling, that really is my person. And then you're like, well, it won't work because that relationship is dead. But then if it's true for both, that's the important part. You don't get to make somebody else come back into something they don't want to be in, right? But if it's true for both, you can say, come out. Let's do this. You can bring back to life what you may want back to life. Often, once it's gone, it's best to move forward. But if there's something that you're now getting a new calling for, and you are like, well, I've got experience in that because of this, right? I don't need tons and tons of examples, but I worked at Guiding Light for a short period of time. And then I went, this is in the 90s in New York. And then I went and I worked at an advertising agency for almost a year. And then that job ended anyway. And then Guiding Light said, well, we need somebody to come in and temp. And the night before I went in, I had a hard time sleeping because there was part of me that was like, you've already been there and you've left there. It feels like you're stepping back by going back. But I went, And then I stayed there for 5 years, and I still talk, like, last time I worked at Guiding Light was in 1999. Last time I talked to somebody I worked with at Guiding Light was like 2 days ago, because they're my family, and I talk to them all the time. But like, I had to be willing. There was a moment, for whatever reason, that I felt this resistance, because it felt like I was stepping back, but I was being called there. It wasn't stepping back. It was actually stepping forward, using part of the back experience. So whatever your thing in life is, whether it's a past experience that you're pulling forward, or whether you're just going somewhere new, you can call it to life. And when you do that, you're doing that by waking up that spiritual truth that is in you, and is in fact is you. I am one with God. I am one with all people. I am one with all life. I am one with the One. Better put, I am one with God. That makes me one with all people and one with all life, because I am one with the One, because there is only one. And that is what I'm waking up to by using that affirmation and recognizing it and claiming it as my truth. I love you. I bless you. I behold the Christ that is you. Thank you. And now Trudy is going to come up. Give Trudy some extra love as she's coming up. Today is Trudy's last day as a board member. She served us for the last 3 years. And so she's doing her last duty as a board member. Thank you, Trudy.
Thanks, Wally. So I was asked today, as a board member, to talk a little bit about the different ways we have of contributing financially to our wonderful community. And I know there's a lot of technology now, and I said to Wally, I think I better call Miranda, because I don't remember all the different technology. He said, oh, it's going to be in your script. I said, good, because I know how to read. So I want you to know there is a difference between tithing and giving love offerings. Tithing literally means giving 10% of what you receive to your spiritual community because it has lifted you up. And it's a consistent, every time you receive money, you set aside 10%. We as a board, well, pretty soon I won't be in the board, but we as a board tithe to different charities every quarter, by the way. So what you give us, we do tithe as well. However, love offerings, if you're feeling like, oh, I can't quite do that, then you're certainly invited to give love offerings. But I want you to know we do have bills. Yes, we are a spiritual community. And yes, we are in a physical, just like we're in our physical body, like we've talked about. We are in a physical space. We have bills. I really want you folks to understand how important it is, not only for our community, but for yourself, to feel that generosity and that pull to give because you want to. All right, that all being said, I will now read the different ways that you can give. Well, it's right up there. You can text on Easy Tithe to 336-600-1064. We also have Venmo at Unity-Greensboro, and you do have to make sure you're at the right Venmo. And then, if you are on our website, you can click Donate. So please consider all those different ways. And of course, we still pass around our offering baskets and checks, and even cash is accepted. So whether you're texting, clicking, giving in person, let's pray together for our offertory blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I receive, and I receive, and I am grateful. And so it is.
And so you all know, the quarterly tithe that we do, we have 3 Unity organizations we give to every time, and then as a fourth one, we always pick a local. And so for this first quarter, of January through March, that part will be going to Kids Poetry Basketball, which was founded and run by Clement Mallory. So Let us all join together in like the abbreviated version of our thank you song. You ready? Thank you, God, for everything. 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 We'll wrap that up. Thank you. And here comes the blessings on our tithes and love offerings.
Let us take this moment to close our eyes, express gratitude for any gift given. We go forward as a church, knowing that the work of this church is to show other people that they have Christ in them, just like we know we have Christ in us. And that's very different than most churches. So this is a special place filled with special people. We bless our board. We bless our own coming members that will be running today. We stand behind them. We know that they will guide us on the right path. And so it is.
Okay, so you want to come up and do yours first?
Good morning, everyone. So I am heading up our community outreach team this year. We would love to have you join us. The point of the community outreach team is to get unity in Greensboro out in Greensboro. So we'll be doing all sorts of cool stuff. We'll be kind of the boots on the ground for getting flyers out around town. We'll be looking at community events that we can be involved in, such as Greensboro Pride. That was a lot of fun last year. Ways we can serve the community, different nonprofits we can support, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be very important work, and I would love to have you involved. The other team I head up, you might know already, is the youth. We would love to have those of you who want to be teachers on a Sunday. It can just be one Sunday a month. We provide the curriculum. But we're also looking for people who just want to donate snacks. Kids eat a lot. They're growing. Teen nights especially, we go through a lot of snacks. So that is a great way to help support the youth program as well, is to get on our snack rotation. And Pam.
You sat down just in time to get up.
Hello. I want to talk about the care team. So the care team is here to support our members in times of stress or in times of joy. As a member of the care team, you could take on the role of coordinating or a real boots on the ground kind of person, which you're really in need of. As a coordinator, you would coordinate different activities the care team does. If your schedule allows, a real boots on the ground person is someone who would visit bereaved families, visit sick, provide transportation. We send cards out to our members, and we work closely with the prayer chaplain to find the needs in our church. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then consider joining the care team. Thank you.
Now it's my turn. So Trudy's already done her announcement, right? So I'm skipping over that one?
No, Trudy's got it. Yeah, she's next. You're right. I pointed at the wrong person.
Okay, so it's not my turn. Trudy has another announcement.
Yeah, no, I pointed at the wrong. I left my script up there.
Hi, it's me again. So I want you to know that starting this Tuesday, you have the opportunity to attend a 6-week program that if you went on the positiveintelligence.com website, you would see how much it costs. And because I am a coach in the program, I am able to offer it just for what it costs me to put you through and also to donate to Unity. So it's $60. You do have to register in advance. I have 5 people so far, so I can have the class. 6, great. Thank you, Miranda. 7, okay. Do I hear 8? Oh, okay. You do need to register by today, though, and I'll tell you why. Because I need to send out emails. You actually need to take a quiz before Tuesday. It's a short quiz, but it's an important part of the program. Okay, so it's not that we want your money right now. It's that I need to send this out so we can get started and stay on track. Well, I want you to know about this program, that its impact is on peak performance, well-being of body and mind, and healthy relationships. I think that covers just about everything anybody could ever ask for. Now, I am, as you probably know, a licensed clinical social worker, and when I first took this course, they have you what? Oh, rah, yeah, thank you. When I first took this course, I have to say initially, because in order to coach it, they actually put you through it. So I was like, yeah, I know that, but as I was going through it, I realized how clever it was. It puts together, so those of you who know these things, in a very unique way, cognitive behavioral therapy, positive psychology, neuroscience, and peak performance like the Olympians do. And so it's like a braid of all these things. And you do have to practice. You're not going to just get away with Tuesday nights. It is a commitment. It's a daily practice. And it's called mental fitness, just like when you go to the gym. Anybody ever take a break from, you've worked out, then you get sick or something, you take a break. Do you come back where you left off? No. Right? You got to kind of start all over. This is mental fitness so that you don't have to keep starting all over. You just keep moving forward. And I am convinced if we as a community did this, boy, we wouldn't be up here saying, please give, please do this, please do that. Love, like the song said, it happens. So for those of you who have already signed up, thank you. We're going to have a good time. Yes, Gayla? How do we sign up? Where's the tab? It is...
Should be in the back, but
If it
think it is right now. We'll get it.
I've never seen it.
okay.
It's been back there, but I think I forgot to bring it down this morning. But
There's also a link in the newsletter.
Yeah, that's how I've gotten the 5 people I know. I've gotten through email. I found out that they had signed up. So, but yes, I need it today because tonight I'm going to be sending out. So that gives you like one day to take the quiz, get the information back to me so that we're ready to go on Tuesday. So I know it's a little squishy, but I did that on purpose so that we could all be ready to rock and roll at the same time. So thank you very much. And if the more the merrier, we will have a good time and you will learn a lot.
So for those of you at home that could not hear, if you're watching us live, there is a link in the newsletter. So get back to the newsletter that came out this Tuesday, and there's a link in there to sign up because it is imperative that we sign up today. If you have issues finding that, if you put it in a junk folder somewhere, get in touch with Wally. And I think most of us have access to him. So it sounds like it's crucial for us to get involved in this.
I'm going to give my email.
Okay. So to make sure that it gets quicker, Trudy's email is Tobias, Tobias, 8, the number 8, infinity, at gmail.com. Okay, so let's all sign up and support this program and support our loving community. If you are a first-time visitor or haven't been here in a long time, I know we have our annual meeting today, so I see a few faces that I haven't seen in a minute, and it's a pleasure to see you all guys, but I think everyone has, in fact, been here. We have a lovely gift for you, but I think we're all part of this community already. We are having our annual meeting today, directly following the service, and apparently you can still fill out the card. Okay. Up until the meeting, you can still fill out the 2023 congregant card. You cannot vote if you have not completed this card. So we have some on the back table if you intend to vote. Yes, sir. Yes, the congregant card must be completed annually in order to vote at the meeting. So make sure you have completed one. And we have the EFT tapping class this week, February 22nd at 6:30. That's via Zoom only, and that's going to be releasing anger. And that's going to be led by our very own Ellie McFalls. And we get to hear the gift of John and Candy Band again.
On this one, I'm an instrumentalist. This is one I think
And
you
lead
know.
singer and instrumental.
So join along. And it's all about love. So that seems to be a dominant theme, planned and unplanned.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know, we must let hatred go. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. And I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. 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 Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. And I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart every day. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Oh, oh, oh. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
Yes!
All right.
We're bringing all of you the next time we play this song.
You'll let us know. You guys perform around. You'll let us know where you're performing next.
Yeah, we're going to be performing March 10th at Kernersville Brewing Company, 7 to 10 p.m. So come
All
on
right.
out and sing along.
Brewing company. That sounds like beer. I'm in. All right, so one other announcement that I was supposed to put in. Gayla's organizing anybody that wants to go to a movie next weekend. She's going to have a sign-up sheet in the back, sign there, and then she'll get in touch with you, and you'll all figure out the movie, I guess, and where and all that stuff. So if you want to go to a movie next weekend together as a group, please sign up in the back. And if you haven't filled out a membership form yet, we'd love for you to do so. So that's back there also. Okay, so next week, we're going to start a series on the Beatitudes, the metaphysical lessons of the Beatitudes, and those will go through all of the Lenten season. So we'll start that next week. And then, who's performing next week? Let's see. It's bound to be written down here somewhere. Who? Oh, yeah, Elaine and Dave will be here next week. So that's exciting. Okay, so... Okay, let us take this moment to say the prayer for protection together, and then as soon as service is over, this is especially for anyone that's virtual. We will sign off as we normally do, and then we will move over to Zoom for the meeting. We'll probably take 10 or 15 minutes to go ahead and break down stuff that we don't need for the meeting and get that stuff out of the way, and then go into the meeting as well. So if you're doing us virtually, we're having the meeting here in this room, but if you're watching us virtually, you'll need to shift over from our website to Zoom to the 617-447-361 number. Which I know is in the e-blast if you open it, and I believe is on the website too. Okay, let us all join together. If you feel like holding hands, do so. If not, place your hands in a prayerful position in the air. I invite you to stand up if you'd like, and let us all say this together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, love is, peace is, light is, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Thanks, everybody.